thank you. That concludes questions from myself, and now we're going to move into the part where each candidate can ask another candidate a single question. You have a minute to ask your question and a minute to answer the question. Bill, I would like to start with you and go to your left.
I have no questions. I wish they ask another candidate.
Very well. Jack?
Jack, sure. We had a forum earlier today, and I have a question for Ken Dash.
Yes.
And I would just like you to elaborate a little on the, you made reference to your experience on the council, that the staff had a certain culture. You suggested they predetermined some of the things that would happen in the meeting. Can you explain?
On council, pretty much when stuff comes in to a council member, it's pretty much pre-decided. And staff generally has their ideas how they like to move, what I call move their projects through. And sitting on council for 2 years, I would have questions of why you're doing this, why the costs. And a number of times, staff members don't appreciate that. They have their way of doing things, their lifestyle. They don't want you interrupting that. But I stayed the course. I would ask my questions. I would get them to adjust out the amount of monies they wanted for their projects, because I pointed things out to them that they could do better. They did not like that. In my opinion, that was just too bad. I'm responsible for the taxpayers' money. I wanted to get the best bang for their dollar. Thanks.
Susan, your question?
Okay, let's see. My question is going to go to Brian. Brian, when the economy recovers, what would you recommend to do to recover Osceola Park?
You know, one of the things that I think that we can do in areas in the city that are deteriorating is to offer an incentive plan that won't cost the taxpayers one dime. If any redevelopment in any area of the city, if the tax did not increase for 10 years, you would offer an incentive to builders, to homeowners to come in and renovate without getting blasted with a tax increase. And that wouldn't cost the taxpayers anything in any incentives, but would certainly give an incentive to someone to come into the community and rebuild.
Deborah, your question?
Deborah from Acton. I would like to ask Bill, I'm interested in having a charter review of the city of Vero Beach's charter. Would you be interested, and if so, what topics do you think that we should explore?
Very good question. I have been a charter review for some number of years, and we've been bitten with several things where people weren't regularly, the council, we're not regularly reviewing things. You always have to test your charter. There are certain things we've discovered recently that the charter just plain didn't work. So the answer is yes. We really need to take a look at the charter. I mean, it's a pretty extensive document. We've redone our zoning as an example, looked at things that were just plain not working in it, and the charter is one of those documents that has some real holes in it. So the answer is yes, I would support that.
Ken?
Ken Higgs. My question is for Mr. Charlie Wilson. I'd like to ask Mr. Wilson, in the event that you do get on council and in the event I get on council, I would like to know, would you work with me to reduce the wastewater rates and the freshwater rates? We had a 36% increase, and I would like to reduce those. I know they can be reduced, and part B of the question is our utility rates. When they were doing, the rate study, for 5 years now, our rates go up. I would like to reduce those rates. I want to work to reduce rates. Would you work with me to do that? And could I count on your help?
All of you government students, I hope you're getting lots of extra credit for this. My name is Charlie Wilson, and the answer to your question is one of the great things about our government is that if you have a motion and a second, you can move mountains. And in our case, Ken, if we can find that this is in the best interest of the people of the city of Vero Beach, and you make a motion to do something that's going to give them a better deal, you bet I will help you.
Thank you, Mr. Wilson.
Brian?
My question is for Mr. Fish, and I would like to know how he defends signing a $1 billion contract with the electric power plant without ever reading the contract, and why today was the first time that the admission was made that he had not read the contract.
I did not make any admission that I had not read the contract. I have it right here in front of me. I read the contract. The decision was made by our provider with a model that we provided to them. It's called Kevin Trago. We did that. We told them what the model was. We looked at the bidders, which were just number 1 and number 2. There were no names in there, so there was no contract to be had at that point. When the contract was written, we all got a copy of it. I have mine. I think it's even got a serial number on it. Yes, I did read it. Did I read it at what point in time did I read it? This is dated April 21st. There was someplace in there that I read had a copy of the contract. Could I tell you that I see this thing first? Yes, I did. Then we signed the contract. Then I had a copy of the contract.
Charlie, your question?
Yes, and once again, I want to point out that we're all friends. You know, this is not personal, but I have a question for my friend, Deborah Froman. Deborah, if we are able to show that we are contractually able, and if I am able to prove to you and show you that it is in the public's best interest, and it is the public's wish to sell the power authority, and if I make a motion to sell the power authority under those circumstances, will you second it and will you vote for it?
Deborah Froman, I will second that motion if there's a careful study done concerning the fiscal, all of the impacts of the selling of the power plant. Yes, I will. We're in a binding contract. I would not make that motion and second it before the 10-year period that the OUC contract is in. I'm not going to do that until we don't have any liability under the contract that we have signed that starts in January.
Thank you.